Most people think downtown Seattle is completely dead in the winter, but the Seahawks just clinched the #1 seed and suddenly Pioneer Square, SoDowntown are packed on the weekends with thousands of fans. Today I'm showing you how this playoff run is creating a mini economic boom for neighborhoods that would normally be struggling. The timing with major new restaurant openings, that's the real story. So I'm breaking down exactly how the Seahawks playoff run is pumping millions into neighborhoods that are normally dead quiet in winter. Now, when you see one hotel's revenue jump tenfold, you're not looking at luck. You're watching an entire downtown economic system transform overnight. The Silver Cloud Hotel sits right across from Lumen Field, over 200 rooms, restaurant, bar, the whole deal. Even though winter months are slower, when summer comes out, they're usually bringing employees back to work in full force. But let's talk about bars and restaurants because it's a totally different story during playoff season. Sluggers, you know that sports bar right across from Lumen Field. It is packed with fans, team crews, media. I mean, you cannot get in there. Local pizza delivery operations report being much busier and starting earlier on playoff game days than on a typical Saturday or Sunday. So that's food and beverage. Now let's talk merchandise. Seahawks gear jumps near the top of NFL merchandise sales during playoff runs, and both official team shops and independent makers see a massive spike in orders. We're talking blue and green knit caps, ladies yoga pants, arm socks, scarves, jerseys, hats, everything. Independent makers selling Seahawks teams gear online also see notable spikes in orders. It's pretty crazy. The team has expanded its pro shop presence at malls and shopping centers from Renton to Linwood, along with seasonal locations in other suburbs. They've added seasonal stores in Tacoma and Bellevue. Why? Because demand is through the roof. And there's the stuff you don't see in the numbers. But wait until you see what's happening with the brand new restaurants that just opened in Pioneer Square. The timing of these openings with a playoff run is basically rescuing businesses that would normally struggle through winter. What else? Rideshare services are slammed, parking lots are full. You can literally watch traffic patterns change throughout the city on game days. Traffic dies right before kickoff because everyone's glued to their screens. In a previous Seahawks playoff run, Visit Seattle estimated that a home game could add around $6 million more than usual in visitor spending. That's $6 million, you heard me right. So when you factor in all the other spending, the ripple effects, the national TV exposure that you can't even put a price on, we're talking way more than that. I mean, millions of people across the country are watching these games. That's marketing for Seattle you literally cannot buy. These numbers paint the macro picture, but the real story is what's happening on the ground in two neighborhoods most people forget about in the winter. Hey, got a quick note for you before we dive deeper. If you're watching this because you're seriously considering moving to Seattle, I work with people making exactly these decisions every single day. Please reach out to me with the info in the description box below if you have any questions about what it's like living here in Seattle, or if you want to get started on your next move. All right, let's get back to the video. SoDo and Pioneer Square, this is where it all happens. Picture standing at the corner of Occidental and King watching thousands of fans stream past historic brick buildings that usually sit quiet this time of year. Pioneer Square is Seattle's first neighborhood, right? Founded in the 1850s, historic brick buildings, galleries, restaurants, cultural spots, and then there's SoDo, south of downtown. That's where Lumen Field sits, putting these two neighborhoods right next to each other. Now here's what's really interesting. When I talk about community impact later on, you'll see why this goes way deeper than just businesses' survival. Football does something unique to Seattle. Now here's what most people don't realize. Winter in Pioneer Square and SoDo, pretty quiet. Business drops way off compared to summer. With the Sonics long gone, there are fewer big winter sports nights. Non-game weekends can feel quiet around here, but not anymore. The Seahawks home playoff games are creating the mini boost when these neighborhoods need it most. And the timing is perfect because some major new businesses just opened and they're getting foot traffic they wouldn't normally see until spring. The winter transformation is proving these historic streets can compete year-round. So let's look at exactly what's opening and why the timing matters so much. Railspur is a $180 million project in Pioneer Square, one of the largest preservation projects in Seattle. Now here's what they did with it. 419 Occidental Ave became a 7-floor, 77,000 square foot office building. 115 South Jackson Street is now Saunders Suites, 26 fully furnished short-term apartments. and 100 South King Street turned into Hotel Westland, a boutique hotel with a cool rooftop bar and restaurant. And now you've got historic alleyways that now house unique shops and event spaces. That's a pretty incredible transformation, right? You should definitely see it with your own eyes. But here's where timing becomes everything. We've got 3 new restaurant openings just at the Railspur development in December, right before the Seahawks playoff run. Renee Erickson, we know her from many restaurants in the area. She's a James Beard Award winning chef, co-owner of the Sea Creatures Restaurant Group, and opened 3 new spots. You've got Lowlander Brewing on December 14th. It's a beer hall seating about 100 people. You can watch them pour beer straight from the brewing tanks. The menu has house-made sausages, fries, and salads, and the place has been packed on game days. Right next door, Un Po Tipsy Pizzeria, open the same day. You got New York style pizza by the slice, draft cocktails, a more casual vibe. And then on December 26th, they open Mio o Mio, a 32-seat spot celebrating Pacific Northwest cuisine, steaks, pasta, shellfish, seasonal vegetables. It's the more formal option of the 3. All right, let's think about what this means for these businesses. They open in mid-December, typically one of the slowest times for downtown restaurants. The Seahawks clinch the #1 seed and everything changes. There's a wave of people they wouldn't normally see until summer. Business owners are literally saying these playoff games are saving their places. That's critical money in those first months when you're trying to build customers and stay afloat. And all the existing businesses that would normally shut down, they are all busy. And it's not just Railspur. The Hall on Occidental, which opened back in 2025 as well. 589 Occidental Ave South. If you haven't been there, it is a cool beer hall. It's a community-focused beer hall, multiple food options, sports viewing, perfect timing for the playoff season, so you've got this perfect storm, right? Major new developments, big restaurant openings, so much. All with a playoff run that's driving crazy winter foot traffic to neighborhoods that would normally be quiet. These newly open restaurants are proving they can handle volume when it matters most. And there's something deeper happening here that's going beyond business survival. What this actually means for the community in Seattle. Because here's the thing about football in Seattle, it is different than other sports. Kerry Wake, who I work with, put it really well. He said, football brings this community together unlike a lot of things. People are rabid about the Seahawks. I mean, that's probably an understatement, seriously. You see it everywhere. People wearing gear all over the city, conversations about football just dominating, even traffic patterns. You can literally watch traffic die right before kickoff. There's a notable difference in activity within the hour before a game starts. But here's what makes this playoff run special. It's been 5 years since the Seahawks hosted a home playoff game. 5 years. And this is the loudest it has felt since those Super Bowl years in the mid-2010s. And it felt like they'd be good forever. Well, unfortunately that ended in many ways that we don't want to remember. There were ups and downs after that with some good teams, but nothing quite like that Super Bowl peak. So now it feels like there's this big bright future again. You got Mike McDonald in his 2nd year as head coach, Sam Darnold having a Pro Bowl season at quarterback, Jackson Smith and Jigba has emerged as a go-to receiver in this offense and got first team All-Pro. Harry mentioned something else that really resonates. In winter, Seattle hunkers down, days get shorter, weather gets colder. We're waiting for the lights to come back on. The lights meaning some sunshine. But playoff football right now is here, and it's this great way to get people together and hanging out when we'd normally be hiding inside. That community aspect matters, especially for a city that gets the Seattle Freeze reputation, you know, where it's supposedly hard to make friends here. Well, football breaks us through that. It gives people common ground. There's shared excitement. It's exactly what downtown needed to feel alive again in January. And the energy isn't just feel-good stuff. It's actually creating real economic momentum that ties everything together. All right, so let's connect the dots here because this isn't just about one single playoff run. Pioneer Square is also right next to the waterfront redevelopment that's been transforming Seattle's downtown core. All of this is happening together. Railspur, the waterfront, new businesses opening, playoff energy, it's all feeding off of each other, and it's creating momentum that goes beyond the football season. So think about it. So when Renee Erickson opens 3 restaurants at Railspur and the Seahawks immediately start hosting playoff games just a short walk away at Lumen Field, you've got this perfect alignment. So pretty amazing timing when you think about it. This development momentum is building proof that downtown Seattle can thrive year-round, not just during summer months when everything's easy. Which brings us to why this moment matters beyond just the winter. 5 years from now, when someone asks what turned things around for Pioneer Square, it just might be the Seahawks 2025 season and 2026 playoff run that drove that story. If you're thinking about buying or investing in Seattle, shoot me an email at hello@mwagnerteam.com. All my contact details are in the description. And speaking of downtown transformation, check out the video I've linked about everything new and coming soon to Seattle in 2026. You'll want to see what's about to change the city forever. Thanks for watching. Go Hawks.